Well, hello there, time travelers. If you're new to this channel and enjoy learning about history, one event at a time, not only from the US, but also from around the world, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we start in 1497 when John Cabot became the first European to set foot in North America since the Vikings. Moving on to 1519, when Theodore Beza, an author, translator, educator, and theologian who assisted and later succeeded John Calvin as leader of the Protestant Reform centered in Geneva, was born. 1795 is when William Smiley, the Scottish compiler of the first edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, passed away at the age of 55. Now, Britannica is where I get all of the information that I use for this day in history. And for my word of the day, I use the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary. On this day in 1812, French Emperor Napoleon, who had massed his troops in Poland in the spring to intimidate Russian Tsar Alexander I, and 600,000 troops of his Grand Army launched an ill-fated invasion of Russia. I think, if I'm not mistaken, almost all the his troops that went into Russia died. I think. Don't quote me on that. Moving on to 1821, when South American patriots under Simón Bolívar defeated Spanish royalists on the plains near Caracas, Venezuela, in the Battle of Carabobo. That's an interesting name. Anyway, 1859 is when the Battle of Salferno, the last engagement of the Second War of Italian Independence, was fought in Lombardy. 1932 is when the Promoters' Revolution, a bloodless coup, overthrew Purjapok, the king of Thailand, ending the absolute monarch in that country and initiating the so-called constitutional era. 1947 is when American businessman Kenneth Arnold saw a number of flying objects flying like saucers while piloting a small plane over Mount Rainier in Washington. It was considered the first modern sighting of UFOs and gave rise to the term flying saucer. The following year, in 1948, the Berlin blockade intensified when the Soviet Union announced that the Western Allied powers no longer had any rights in Berlin. 1952 is when President Truman signed a bill authorizing, the armed forces to confer commissions on women doctors, dentists, and other medical specialists. 1987 is when football player or American soccer Lionel Messi, one of the game's premier players, was born in Argentina. 9 years after the turn of the century, in 2009, a bomb attached to a motorcycle explodes in the market of Sadr City neighborhood in Baghdad, killing at least 76 people. I remember hearing about that on the news, or something similar to that. The following year, in 2010, Australian politician Julia Gillard was sworn in as Australia's first female prime minister. And finally, 2 years ago, in 2022, in Dobbs v. Jackson, Women's Health Organization, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 1973, ending the constitutional right to an abortion. And with that, we return to 2024 and our current history. I'll see you all in the next one.